Warm, very warm. I'm very warm right now. Hold on, let me just. My beast life, how are you today? On this fine, fine day. Yeah, headache. Hmm. Lord. So, okay, so let's Hmm. God. Okay, we just need more animation coverage. I want to get rid of all these 34 to like 41 or something like that. Let's do. Just and we're just gonna copy across the stuff here. Cool. That's long enough. That should. Basically, I just need long enough where I can test out the blending of stuff because I'm gonna add a load of different animations. I guess really. When you're updating the location of the stride. Okay, let's some animations thing. We have literally three. We have one where we have one animation where it's like um you're not like you don't have a takeoff foot or a specific landing foot. You just kind of do either. So basically, if you the way I've got it set up, if you hit the button as you're blending out, if before you blend out, like you finish doing the stride, you trigger to do another stride, then it basically says, okay, well, we want to do another stride, therefore let's try and keep the flow. So try and go on the opposite foot in which you're going onto. Um, but if you don't do that, then it goes to null, like you don't have a specific takeoff or landing foot. So yeah, and then we just need to add some more values to this. So let's do it. Hey Orlando, how are you? I realized the sweet spot you gotta take like as it's coming in and as it's leaving out. That's the bit you blend. Got loads of pliers. I only got strides. Oh, so would you be? Oh, you mean rather like it like pulls and then goes? Yeah. I think more than anything, that's just like the camera itself actually needs a lot changing. Um, I think that's just because of camera lag. I think with more lag, it'd actually be more smooth. It wouldn't actually impact the players' things much more. I mean, if I show it for a minute, we can even try it. Yeah. Yeah. There's probably a fair bit of experimentation, actually, quite frankly. At least pyramid is. We'll see what happens. I think it also could be a blend thing with the animation, quite frankly. Yeah, it probably is, quite frankly. Again, the camera, it's one of those things we're gonna have to redo. I don't really want to spend too much time on it because it's gonna change completely. Um, there's a lot of improvements to how to. It's not really quite the focus of it. Because yeah, that's a subtle improvement. Definitely an improvement, but it's one of the things that's gonna change. Because it doesn't work well with the level. Like it collides and then it passes through things, but then it collides with things like weirdly, and then it actually doesn't collide with anything now, which means you can't see your character around walls and stuff. So a lot of this stuff we're just going to write our own code for. So it's going to behave really weirdly. So not too much point messing around with it now. Mainly for today, I just want to add some more animations to a couple of the stuff, and then start to sync up these systems a bit more. Now that I have a little bit of coverage, not enough, but I want to start implementing some kind of controls, start syncing up the systems a bit so they can work really fluidly together. Like the Plyos and the strides, I want them all interweaving, and I want to clean up all this code because the code's really messy right now. So I want to start doing that this week because we want to give this to you guys pretty soon. So I don't want to give it to you guys with messy code. So I'm going to start cleaning up today. Yeah, let's just have some animations. Oh. Just 21,720. Oh, that's me. You want some for it? And then we'll get next time soon, very soon. Hopefully, again, Dada's working on some stuff. I'm gonna clean up all this code and basically get it to a point, get it to a state in which it can be synced with Dado stuff really easily. And then once we sync everything together, then we should be able just to give it to you guys. So that's the next focus, really. Oh, God's sake. Like a couple more animations. I don't really need many stride animations, quite frankly, because they're all very, very similar. U1797. Then I need to clean up the stride animations themselves, like the rip motion part, stuff like that needs to be cleaned up. Left to left. 21826. very soon, hopefully the next week or two. Again, it's pretty. One thing I've realized, it's actually pretty difficult to stride up things. And I don't know. I don't really think we captured much of it. Yeah, do you know what I mean? Like, we'll definitely have individual sort of strides, but yeah, I've also it's pretty weird striding up things, especially like um, you don't really. It's like quite hard to do. The bells, nice that it has that. It's pretty cool. Loads of cool animations here. I've actually got a fair few Plyos and a fair few strides and stuff right now, actually. So I don't quite. Yeah, to be honest, do you think I'm cool with that? We'll just do them too. So I don't think I need that many. I'd rather have a few like, and a little bit of warp at the moment. I think we actually need to go capture some because I don't really think we captured strides going up and down, so like from high to low, from low to high. So I don't actually think we have quite the coverage of that. So this will just do for now. And I just think, yeah, I think we'll just be a bit smarter. Like you just won't be able to stride up as high. Quite frankly, I think strides will just have to be a fairly flat ground thing for now until we get the animation coverage. But that's fine because we can limit that. I can limit that in the tray, so that's pretty easy to do actually. So, and then what I have is just basically if you're trying to stride, but because basically the aim of the stride, you have to create like a bit of a flow. So you have to trigger the next stride before the current stride finishes. But once it goes into the next stride, you then need to release and then re-trigger the next one. So like after you trigger the stride, the button deactivates basically. So you have to let go. So you can't just hold it and keep striding. But yeah, you have to like press it, release, and you kind of have to go off what the character's doing. Like as he starts the next one, you release and then press it again. Then when he starts the next one, you release and press it again. It's sort of like a timing thing, quite frankly. Like initially, I sucked. I couldn't get him. And if you don't time it well, it will stride, but it'll look a bit more like steppy, like, and then it'll like jump his feet and then jump, which kind of makes sense. But I also want to get like it should be a. Like we're just gonna move buttons as well to which button it's on to the A button too. So yeah. Let's do it. Yeah. So let's start with 0C. So 21720. Oh. Oh, don't do this. Why are you doing this to me? Probably. Um. Let's see. Multiply by 4. We also, one thing we did, like, so we didn't really, it's weird when you're doing the motion capture, like this is again, we didn't know this before we did. You need to be very aware of what you're capturing. Like, it's not enough to necessarily just like, oh guys, just do some parkour. You almost have to, I don't want to say, because it's cool because it's authentic, like, oh yeah, just do some moves, like do a couple cap passes or whatnot, we'll capture it. And you do actually get some authentic moves. But sometimes you need to, not artificially, because they're still doing the move, but you need to purposefully capture certain movements. So like with the strides, for example, I'll be like, okay, next time we go to, I'll be like, okay guys, you need to do some strides where you're, imagine you're in a game and you're striding a really small distance or a really large distance, or like you're in like a small, like there's a little drop or there's a big drop, like stuff like that. And you have to take all those into account when you're actually capturing animations, because they need to be relevant for whatever context you're giving the character. And because this is so super contextually based, so it's like, what's the character wanting to do? Okay, he's trying to go up to a meter on a stride. It's like, do we have an animation that's even near that? Currently we don't, because when we were doing it, we were like, just stride, and obviously your natural instinct, okay, well I'll just stride like straight, as if I'm going just straight down something. But the game context is going to differ so much more than what real life would be, because yeah, like real life architecture isn't going to be as creative as game architecture. So creative but it's wild, or the imagination isn't like, you want to be able to do everything you could possibly conceive in real life in a game, you know? So. I also need to find a better way to do these values, because I don't think they're quite correct. And you see the root motion of it all's off, so the foot's going to sink to the ground. Someone puts it on the Instagram post, and it's like, this is the one thing that I've found with game dev. It's like, I think people don't realize, we realize when something isn't 100%. Like, I think people just think we think everything's perfect all the time. Like, I've never understood it. Like if the foot sinks into the floor, like, trust me, I know the foot sinks. Like, I don't get it. Like we're such perfectionists. I don't know if it's like a thing in the industry where people just think that you're not, and you're just like happy to just shovel shit. But yeah, it's weird how it's like, it's really common to get like, oh, you need to fix this. I'm like, I know. I'm very aware. But I also can't really complain, because it's like, yeah, engaging, like, there's stuff we missed though, to be fair, as well. So, but like the super obvious stuff, like, oh, the foot's in the wall, like, yeah, I will fix that. But it's fun. I love it regardless. I've kind of gotten used to it now, and before it used to be really annoying. Like, I used to get so triggered when people would, like, they'd speak to you as if you're stupid, like you just don't even notice, and you're just like, what? I didn't notice the character's foot was in the floor, or or he fell through the ground. Like, I didn't really. But like now, I'm just like, they're just excited as well. So you can't really complain. They just want perfection, and you do too. So you're on the same time. See, you're on the same team basically. You just, sometimes people don't realize. Kind of drawn it out now. I don't know. I just like don't even phased by anything like that. What's cool as well, we haven't even done this, which is like, I still haven't even thought about this, but we haven't, me and Dado haven't synced up on the phase matching and like speeding up and slowing down. Like, we still have these like two really big elements to sync up on. And when we sync up on, hopefully the blend in and out stuff is so much better. So I'm excited for that. I'm gonna do that this week. So when we sync up on that, thing should get really cool. 470.245. Again, and this is another thing I need to. So it's like 42 to 3. What is like here really? 333. It's about 290, give or take. So I'll just put 290 for now. Although that is kind of fun. We're just going 290. These values are all wrong. I need to fix all of them. For now, we can live with it. Let's so the takeoff foot is, it takes off on its right and lands on its right as well. So takeoff foot is right, landing foot is right, horizontal climb. This is the only thing, like, architecturally this is wrong, because it's not you're not climbing when you do this. So I need to actually split this up, which is going to be what I'm going to do probably tomorrow. It's just like, because this is just, I mean, all this code is just, this is terribly done. Like, everything's repeated. Like, a lot of these traces we can use elsewhere. So like, you know what I mean, like the contextual traces that would be just relevant elsewhere, like not just for the climbing. So it makes no sense to just store them in the climbing. It makes sense to have like a contextual trace class that handles all the contextual traces, like how far away is the nearest object, how far drop down do you need to go, like all that crap. And then we just pull, the climber just pulls what it needs from that class. So I'll set that up tomorrow. Yeah, we should be able to. So basically now, if the landing foot of this is right, if this is more appropriate, like a similar speed, I should actually do that. I don't know if it will, and I don't know how it's going to look, so let's just test it out, see what happens. That's what you can do, eh? It might look terrible. Ah, so it doesn't really do it. Interesting. Now, I do want it to do it, which I kind of, I mean, it's a pretty of a rare thing. I guess it only really does it if you're moving pretty quickly. I am going to change this because this is take off right, land right. I'm gonna. I'm gonna just set this to this montage here. It's not gonna look correct because the blend out is gonna be terrible, but yeah, it's completely wrong because it transitions into wrong foot. Land right, then I wanted to do right to right, but we also need this animation available because it needs to do right to left. Basically, this is the question. Okay, let's do this. Back to 001. The blend in was quite good. Let's see how far. I just want to make this more optimal. You know what I could do? Distance is about 147. Well, the distance between these things. So let's make this distance here 150. Even though I think it's a lot further, quite frankly, that's the animation distance. just does the right one. That's funny as well. Let's space them out differently because it's just not calling it. Let's go back to this. What was it? It was 290, wasn't it? That's quite cool. The blending and that was quite nice. I need to have the other one as well, so that the left foot can also do that kind of blend thing. Let's see if we can just. That was my fault. You actually have to think of how it's gonna do the steps. Damn, like you actually have to think. Oh, that's hella cool. So basically, what happened there is the distance to that beam was a bit further, so it matched to the other one because it's basically the other one is more appropriate for the like that. That's pretty smooth. Wicked. Like that. Let's I want to add in I'm going to copy this exact top, I guess. I want to add in the one-legged stride thing, left to right. I mean, we'll do this one quite long as well, so hopefully it triggers in. And yeah, I want to add in the one-legged stride from left to right. On the left leg, because I only have the one-legged stride on the right leg at the moment. It's not really cool, which is annoying as hell. See, this is the one thing. Like, I could to make this a little bit less alter the direction, but I'm gonna do that. It should really be like. Yeah. Let's add the left foot one. Let's add this one. The other one's pretty good to be honest. $77.07. $82.75. Basically, what I'm gonna then do is go through all the strides and clean them up, like clean up the root motion, because the root motion like sinks into the ground at times and stuff like that, and it just makes it look a bit ugly, quite frankly. So I want to clean up all the root motion on that. So hopefully then some nice pretty strides. It's just nice now to work with hand-eye kick curves. So it's from about this. I found the other one had a really good when it was about here. So and it ends. Which gives us about 0.15 blend out as well, which is perfect. And I also want to be able to like, so currently you can actually move the stride left or right before your takeoff. So as you're launching, you can like move left or right to move the rotation of where you stride to. So you can actually adjust ever so slightly where you stride to. I'm going to change the speed at which you can adjust it so that it's like you can't swing far, or the distance at which you can do so. Um, but, but, um, yeah, I'm going to change the distance at which you can do so. But, what was I talking about? We want to also be able to move the stride point forward and backwards a little bit, because what I found is like if you're trying to stride onto something where like basically it's because you can stride on the floor. Like, wait, let me add this and I'll show you. You can stride on the floor, but you just do like half a meter strides every time, basically. Every time. Which is just like your basic stride, like super short distance, just normal strides. But we want to actually, I think there's going to be an element of like, what? See, it's weird because I also don't think you want to overcomplicate strides. It's weird. Like there's gonna be so many mechanics in the game that I'm like, how complicated should striding be? Like, should it just be a timing thing? Like in my head, I'm kind of like, if you just time it right, it should be alright. Because then I'm thinking about if you add a power thing, you then kind of have to discount the timing thing, because having two mechanics playing in at the same time. So like, to speak with you, so basically it's like, should like how much power you input influence how far you go? But I'm like, and it's a good point because it would, but then in my head I think that's a slight overcomplication. I don't actually know if it's right, but we'll have to discuss it. And that's like, he wasn't saying that that's actually the exact way to go. He was just like talking about, because which is really helpful having, it's like Drew obviously does all the parkour, so he runs us through what they would basically mentally think when doing all these moves. So he's like, okay, the power you output, so you'd think, okay, naturally that should be some kind of control mechanic, but when you think about it from a gameplay perspective, inputting power each movement is like, that's too hard, like, to get any sort of consistency. Do you know what I mean? Whereas timing, you can get sort of consistency, like doom, step, a little bit longer, step, because like power is like, how do you do that with, and it's actually what if you're moving quickly, but it's like big strides, like how do you use it? Do you know what I mean? But then, and it's also like quite an overcomplication, because then you lose any sense of timing. It's like, okay, when do you power stuff up? Like, do you power it up each step? And then, like, how do you quantify the power as well? Like, do you then have to have a little bar that shows like how much power you use? Like, do you mean that adds so many more like layers of complexity to something that, among all other moves, should just be like flowy? Like a stride should be probably one of the most flowy movements in the whole game. Like, it should just be something that's like very, like, you just get a feel for it, and then when you get the feel for it, you can just stride around. Whereas I think like with a power meter, I think it's a lot of added complexity to something that is seemingly, from a visual point of view, fairly simplistic. So I think in my head, just timing things right, like having some kind of timing sense would help. And maybe even in case of like, your timing is like, so what I was thinking is, we were both sort of saying is like, the closer you time it to the actual point at which you land. So I'll tell you how to do it, like how it works code wise. So like currently I have this blend out time, which is whatever this time is, basically blend out time. So then this blend out time triggers like a delegate like function call event that says, okay, the animation is now blending out into whatever. Basically, if before that blend out time you say you want to do another stride, so while you're doing this animation, so you have however long, so like almost a second basically to be like, I want to do another stride. You say you want to do another stride, then it has this variable that's like, okay, the player wants to do another stride, and you hold that. Then when the next animation comes around, when it ends, so the blend out time hits, it then says, okay, does it want it to do another stride? If so, let's blend into the next stride, if we can do one. If it doesn't want to do another stride, we just blend into locomotion, or we fall, or whatever context, then we go back into normal context. But then we're like, okay, one thing we can look at is say, how close to the end of this animation, so the landing point where we start to blend out, did you actually press the button? Like, did you say, I want to stride? And the closer you are, the basically of the better your timing is. So like if you press, release press, your time is pretty average. But if you like press, like do that, then your time is pretty good. And then therefore, like the closer you are to the landing point, what I want to do is basically scale the distance and reach of your stride. Because like realistically, even if you time it badly, if the stride is half a meter, everyone should be able to do that. You know what I mean? Like that's like not really stress. But if you time it badly, maybe you're not able to do that big 2 meter stride. You know what I mean? So I think your timing will impact the range at which you could stride, basically. So then you have like, okay, that kind of covers the power. So the timing is sort of linked to the power bit without having a whole separate mechanic for power and taking up a whole separate button. Do you know what I mean? So that's quite, I think might be a good way to approach it, but we'll have to see. It could feel crap, it could feel awesome. We might change it. The power stuff feels really good, so we'll see when we get there. That was an absolute waffle. Shut up for a bit. You guys need me to shut up, just say so. 454.037. $52.5 for 53. 323. So what's that? Like 275, give or take. It's interesting. Benj covered more distance on the single leg strides than he did on the normal strides. That's really interesting, actually. Well, like they're similar distance, but actually more. And I anticipate it's because he had preemptively tried to use more power, thinking that he wouldn't get as much distance, but actually did. Because like a normal stride, you just do kind of instinctively, and you have no real sense of trying to go far. Whereas the single leg one, I think he was actually trying to launch himself. So that's quite cool, quite interesting. So this one takes off on the left, lands on left. Put in, could almost go 0.2 in, you know. I think we can, you know, let's do it. 0.2, I might keep it. We got 0.76 to 0.9. It's 17. So we go 0.15. What I'm going to end up doing is making this all like done by code. So you set the blend out time of the animation relative to when this ends, like the warping finishes, to the end of the animation time. So we have actually like set values. So it's not like you have to go in there and change this about. Although I might keep looking at that a bit more gradual. Alright, let's see what the crack is. Let's see what's cracking. Oh. good up until the point at which the stupid thing. I don't know if it reached the. Yeah, 0.15 has reached the point. That's really annoying. Why did he do that? What the hell? Wait, no. Hold on. Why is it doing that? So it's going like this. Step, hop. Where is it? What is it hitting? Hold on a minute. Let's debug this. Let's debug this. Let's see what's hitting well. That one does it fine. Oh, it's pretty smooth. Did it do it? I don't even know. I didn't pay attention this time. It's like, it's a hop, hop, hop. Why are you doing that? Talk to me. Why are you doing that? Height is minus 75. At no point should the height be minus 75. This is completely wrong. Whatever this is here. Minus 75. What kind of nonsense is that? Height minus 76. Minus 76.225. What? Wait, whoa, what? I mean, it's the one thing that pisses me off. Why is it doing that? Is it doing that? I've no understanding as to why it's doing that. I think it's to do with something with some kind of trace. But it's only when it's doing the animation. I think. Do you know what it is? What in the height? Minus 76 point. Minus 76.012. Let me debug this trace, because that is just, all those values are just terribly wrong. I want to drop the height of this anyway, so. Let's do this. It's just the animation. I'm very curious as to why. It's the height so high. Is the height so high? Oh, I'm so stupid. That's why. I am very stupid. I'm very, very stupid. I didn't untick 2 boxes and it ruined everything. Watch, that was literally the problem. Watch. We're perfectly fine now. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. I want to know if it's going to do a left to left. A left to left. So take off left, land left, therefore it wants a left again. So it can pick itself, quite frankly. That's interesting. All the values, all the things are pretty low to be fair. That actually doesn't look terrible. Let me get rid of that stupid debug thing so I can see. I should have had that in the Insta video. God's sake. I put an Insta video and I just made the clip 10 times better. I'm annoyed at myself. Yeah, we just need a bit more coverage for like different lengths of strides. Like maybe one that's like a really like swingy kind of stride where you land on 2 feet even. I don't know. I think it needs to be like if you're trying to get to a certain distance or height, I think we might just need to add some pliers to it. But I don't know. I feel like that's a mechanic in itself. Quite fun to do, I won't lie to you. That's one thing I need to kill actually. I think with these strides, if I kill this thing, so I can constantly update. You can't move forward or backwards because I've got some hard checks in place, but you can move to the left and right. And what I'll probably do is like limit how far it's up. Oof. Nope. That looks terrible. You know what? It's not doing it. You can't even move the point. Hold on, let me just do this. this check here is not right. Basically, I'm like, if the distance is less than blah blah blah, but it's not the distance, it's the full distance, quite frankly. Let's kill this for now. 4 now, so we can at least rotate. And then I'm probably gonna add back in those thingies, because I think otherwise we're gonna have a bit of a problem with Red Man. Yep, we need the beautiful stop updating sync points again. I'm sorry I ever got rid of you. But the thing is, I guess like technically that's not like, it's not because we actually do want you to be able to move the thing forward, but like to move the sync point where you go to a bit forward, but you kind of need to do it before you've triggered your. There we go. This is much better. Ooh, that don't look too terrible. That don't look too terrible. Let's copy this out and let's just do a really long really long run. Let's see how long we can go for. I say we go all the way across the map, because why not? Ooh. Do a short one there. Bigger one there. Okay, that's long enough. Let's see if I can do one smooth run all the way. See, it's so hard. If you don't time it right, like you kind of have to watch the animation or just get a feel for it. Like I'm just doing it from a feel, but initially I had to watch, and like as he was about to land, I then pressed the next one. And then if you do it well, you can actually get it really smooth. Like how smooth it looks really is dependent on. That's pretty steez. Cool. That's pretty cool. Oh, I just walked off the edge. That looks so good. Oh, it's warped the camera. Oh, I didn't realize. Yo, this actually looks pretty good. I can't lie to you. Does not look bad. Like I'm surprised. And imagine, and we have 5 animations. imagine we had 50 that covered all the distances we need. Some were like 360 spins, so you pulled out the bag sometimes, and then obviously we can have controls that force some of these, like we can be like, try and find a 360 spin. If you can't find one, do another one, but stuff like that. It'd be pretty cool to have. 0.10 is coming soon, hopefully. Next couple weeks. I wasn't really good at timing this stuff. Like, it's actually like, I anticipate when a lot of you play this, you won't be able to stride like straight off really easily. But like when you get used to it, then you'll be able to do it. Oh, damn. Hell of a lot of fun though. It's like, strides, I think it's going to be a really, really fun mechanic. I think they're going to be a really, really fun mechanic. Imagine doing this to like a or something. Yeah, I think if we lock them down, it'd be really. That really feels way better than I thought it would. I basically want to have Plyos and strides in at the same time. It's the next step. It's literally the same code, which makes me think, am I better off just optimizing the architecture so then I can have Plyos in, or just add them in, get it working, and then make everything, clean everything up? You know what I mean? I think add it in, clean it up after. That's tomorrow's job. Let's just make it look cool. But I don't even think I need to change much of this right now. I don't think it's final because I don't think we have quite enough coverage, but that's the only other thing I need to fix. This it actually moved pretty quickly as well. I've not really played a game that has like stride mechanics like that. Does anyone know a game that has stride mechanics similar to this? I'm trying to think if I played one. Most striding in like Assassin's Creed, and that sucks, quite honestly, because it just like, I don't know, it's like it warps you, but not in a very pretty way. Yeah, it's like it kind of warps you in a bit of an ugly way. This one you feel a bit more in control of exactly where you're moving. Oh. Definitely gonna do a bit of a challenge. I'm gonna do the infinite stride challenge and see who can get the furthest. Gonna make it like ridiculously long. Oh, with a stick in there. Alright, question. I'm gonna let you guys decide. What do we do tonight? Do we add sticks? Like if you press a button, do Plyos as well as. Probably should add Plyos really. Well, actually, the first thing we need to do is fix this stupid. Because one thing, if you notice, the feet come off the thing, and that's because that's a root motion problem. But I think we're gonna write a tool to fix that. Probably gonna ask Dada to write a tool. Do you see me? Because I can like. I also want. Oh, that's one thing I need to add. Basically, this null animation. I need so I have here. If you see, I have a null that goes from a standing jump in. I want a couple ones that go from like. So this goes from a standing jump in. I want one that goes from like a running jump in. You know what I mean? So let's add them, and then I think strides are pretty much ticked off for now. I don't think I need to add any more animations, quite frankly, until I do another recording. Because yeah, these feel really good. So yeah, let's add another null one, 2 more null ones, where you basically start your strides from a running, where you're running into your stride, so that you sort of like step on straight away rather than having to do a big jump and then go into it. Although it's really not a necessity, quite frankly. Like, that is fine for now, to be honest. Let me see how easy it is to find. Yeah, so this is like the initial stride. So you're running in and you do a stride from no. So that's your first stride. You get me? So this is your first stride, bang. First stride. I guess any of those could be from no. Like, you could just copy one of their strides, and that could be from no, because it takes it from the landing. Like, it takes it from this landing point, which is the same as running. So it's not even a case of like you desperately need the coverage. Like, I could just copy over these two, like these two pliers here, stride 1 and stride 2. Like, yeah, if I did this, so I did copy paste. So if I did copy paste stride 1, and then we just had same landing foot, which is left, but takeoff foot was null. And then stride 2, copy, add one more, paste there, and then takeoff foot was null. Pretty sure just do the same thing. It would work perfectly fine. Let's find out. So if I'm running now, yeah. Look is good. Because I guess when you have your little hobby, I'm just going to keep it as it is, quite frankly. It feels and plays really good. Is the game going to be split screen? I don't know. Never thought that, actually. It's an interesting question. Maybe. Maybe. I thought about that. I thought about Plyos. What plier do we have in here? Okay. Takeoff for invalid? What do you mean invalid? Oh yeah, because I didn't have a separate thing for them. But the pliers don't care about that. Okay, so I think the next thing I need to do now, we'll just do this one more time, just because it's just a lot of fun. It's that warp there. It's just like we just need a better animation for that. Do you know what I could do? I could add every one of these plyos to the strides as nulls. Because also in the strides here, this plier, does it land on a specific foot? No, it doesn't. I've just set it as landing foot right. So it doesn't even land on a specific foot. Let me. I guess this could just change depending on what each character's like. So if Benj likes to start his strides off his right foot. All his nulls will go into his first landing foot, so he'll be right. But I could just add all these pliers. I'm thinking, hold on a minute. That was done. Copy. Can I bring this across? Oh, 1, 2, 3, 4. What's the first one? So the first one is Plyos 003. Oops. Not Plyos. Right, just for speed of thing, I'm just gonna have this across here and just mash it. This value is right. Oh, it is. Is it? No, it ain't. It's completely wrong. This is wrong. I have the actual rally values here. So 285.027. Forward distance is 276.8. Null and left. Fine. There's no stress. This one's 365.14, 91.947, and 220.925. I will go null, and then let's see what foot does that one around. Deal. Let's go take off foot right. Null, landing foot. 5004. It's 48. Minus 56.235. 70. Let's just go left. Alt to left. Supply 006. It's 2.90. 8. That's it there, and then it's 211. And landing for the ones left, so we'll go right. So now we've got 2 on the left, left. Check it out, see what's working. It's pretty good actually, having the extra pliers. And so basically what it is that if you don't keep the stride out, you're gonna go into like to try and keep striding, you're gonna go into a plier, which basically means that yeah, if you're gonna go into a plier, which I guess just means that yeah, you're just so if you can't keep up the right foot strides because you're too slow, you're gonna go into like a jump to try and maintain momentum. You do a plier rather than a stride. and then we just match the pliers as well, so that if you can't do it, your takeoff foot is going to go back to null on the strides, so therefore it's going to look for one of the pliers, and then each plier has a specific takeoff foot that it has. We could duplicate that to add more coverage, but it doesn't really. One thing you remember as well, we're going to mirror all these animations as well. It's like double the coverage. So if I go slowly, so if I stop, then it's gonna. I hate the animation. Whatever animation just played. One way has pretty straight legs. Yeah, it's terrible over distance. But over a short distance, it looks pretty good. So that is a terrible warp. So really, the stride length should probably not be that far. Doesn't seem that we have anything that can handle that. It's here. What's this? 4280. What, 240? Interesting. Interessant. Okay. Okay, I'm actually quite happy with this state of this right now. Next thing I want to do is add the pliers on their own. So just get the character pliering, get the character striding, get the character, because I mean he can climb and stride now, like that's not much of a I need to fix that. It's not that if you're falling you shouldn't be doing it, but you can like climb up, do stuff like that like now still. I need to add more climb up animations. You know what, that's one thing I did forget to add. So all the drop downs needs like they do need a 2-edge thing. Seems. So look, again, I think it's really coverage. So I mean, the main thing we need seems we need on these strides now is just to fix the they move around pretty nicely now actually. Now on these strides, let's go through the actual stride montage. There's only 4, and let's fix the root motion on them. You see it like comes off the air and it's all pretty wonky, so let's fix that. Fix the root motion. First thing, plan of action for tonight. So I'm quite tired of it, I don't know why. So plan of action for tonight. We'll fix all the root motion. Yeah, we have done. You can do tic tacs. I'll show you. Well, you do a tic tac 180 up a wall. I'll show you now. Hold on. I'll do that. It's my cheat hack for getting down things. So yeah, if you run up to like if you're like a flat wall that you can't climb up on, you just do this. But that's a shitty one. It's a shitty one. You can actually change to which one you do. So like, the whole point is that we need to actually add like input stuff in this bit. Do like the 270 and stuff like that. I should really like do a video on that stuff. We've added quite a lot of stuff. It's actually pretty fun to play, quite frankly. I enjoy playing it a lot. Yeah, we need a little coverage still, so I'm having fun playing. I can't. I probably play a bit more than I need to. It's so weird. I'm testing, but I'm really just playing because it's quite fun. But it'd be bad if I did enjoy playing. You know what I mean? Like, if I didn't enjoy playing it, I should really stop making it. I could actually do this all day. It's so fun. I need to actually do well. I'm just striding. What am I doing? Alright, let's do the real motion on this. Today's Sunday, isn't it? Tomorrow's bank holiday Monday. Okay. Plan of action. Tomorrow we'll do all the fixing up of the code. I think we'll really like re-architecture, redesign, redo whatever the code structure so that's better. And so it's encompassing of the Plyos and strides and whatever. So there's the context manager and all that stuff. So it has all the traces and stuff like that. And then we'll start looking at inputs for what button triggers a stride, what button triggers tic tac, stuff like that. And then yeah, then I'll link up with Dado, sync our things together, and 0.10 for you guys. End of next week, I don't know, who knows, who maybe. No promises though, because probably not. What was I gonna do? Ah yes, very fun job of fixing the emotions crap. Really is just wrong. If you see how the feet like move up and down, it's just wrong. This one's not too bad actually. It's not terrible. This one's terrible. First one's fine. This one's just awful. Ooh, oh my. That's probably right. Probably wouldn't even be terrible. Might just be a simple fix. Let's see, look, the foot's in the ground. Yeah, the landing's pretty spot on actually. But the takeoff is just no way. Motion warping starts then. It's not terrible. Nah, but look, it is terrible actually. Talking absolute crap. So from 1. 6. See you later, Jackstar. Cheers for joining. See you soon. Catch you around another stream. I'll be streaming tomorrow. This week I was a bit busy, so I didn't have much time to stream. But this week I'll be streaming every day, all day. So catch me for a couple of 8-hour streams during the week and late night streams as per usual. We're alright with that. Further, yeah, I'm gonna need much changing. A new chair today, and this is the best thing I did. Like, I actually don't sit. I can actually lean backwards. It's actually like a proper chair. There's no home in me though, apparently. It's like audible chairs. One to frame 7. Let's check it out. See what we got. See if we have that live in the ground. Thing that people were annoyed about. Oh, it's because, yeah, it doesn't have the foot offset. So I gotta raise them all up by like centimeter. What else don't do? Oh, this is gonna behave. I don't think it's gonna behave well. See, funny thing, it's not gonna behave very well. I don't think it's gonna behave well. I stand ever so much corrected. It behaves perfectly and fixes all the problems I was actually having. stand corrected. It's actually much logically better as well, because now the capsule actually goes to walking. Well, would you look at that? Would have thought, not me. The only thing I need to do is basically, you can see it finds the ledge point. But if you look at the animation, the stride itself, if you look at where the feet are, so they start off center, they start in front, and then they go and they finish when I land on the wall off center as well. But obviously the capsule moves to the point, so then if it's like a thin ledge, the feet aren't gonna go to that ledge point per se, unless I added some kind of like try some foot IK stuff to fix that. I mean, it's a problem, but it's not side out. I'm like, it's like a minor fixture. Because if you see, see how the foot sort of took off from the ground, like it was in thin air when it took off. In slow motion, it's just 10 times cooler, man. I can't lie to you. Cloth zip with, like, in slow motion with the cloth zip, it looks so cool. That looks sick. Yeah, the whole thing slow-mo is just wicked. Quite frankly. Dun, dun, dun. Do you see how it takes off? Not from the exact point. That's an issue there. It's like landing in. I think really that's just a check. To be fair, you can only do the stride if you're not like falling. I think I can even fix some of the issues I'm having there with just like a bit of a better. Because I don't think this is much of the problem. I think it's just probably the actual vision. So I think with a bit of an earlier like yeah, I mean it's a clear tweaks. We need to do it like you can't just mid-air be. what I could do to fix this thing. If the distance from the character, see, this is when I don't think. This whole time I was like, so basically this bit is basically just a little check. I'm gonna change it, but it's just a bit of a check to be like, okay, when you're updating, so we update the sync point, which is like the ledge you want to go to, each frame until I call the notifier. So basically the notifier is called when I take off. Now I'm going to add it in code so that rather than me able to place the notifier, it's just called when the motion warping starts happening. And I can get the motion warping duration, all that crap, so, and the start time and all that stuff like that, so that's fine. But what I'm going to do basically is the sync point that we update, currently you can't move heights of the sync point, which basically allows you to not, like, why can't you move heights of sync points? Yeah, you can't move heights of sync points because it should always, because you want to pick the lowest ledge basically, not move up to then a higher ledge, because in case you're going like up and down. But what I want to be able to do is basically also move the sync point left to right, but I think you can only move the sync point left to right if the distance to the character like is still within the range. So if we say yeah, and so we do the same thing here. Let's do this. Paste this in. I need the capsule bottom location. Which is just très intéressant. Interesting. Let's do this. Don't care about that. Don't care about that. Forward distance. The vector between that and So basically what we're saying here is if the height of the new ledge isn't like that much higher, or the distance from the current character to the new sim point isn't actually beyond, I don't know why I didn't think of this before, isn't beyond how far you can actually stride, which means you can move it left or right, if that means if it's still within the range of your possible stride. So my max stride distance can be 3 meters, whatever it is. If I want to move left or right, if I'm still within 3 meters, I can still go to that. But what's happening is if I move it too far forward to the point where that's not within 3 meters, so therefore that can't be a point. So bring it back, take it back now, yo. You know what I mean? Yeah, that's literally all the code I need to do. I don't know why they think of that. That makes a lot of sense. It repeats so much code, and it's pissing me off. I need to really optimize all this crap. Let's just see if this works. Hopefully we don't get any of the weird warps now. It's super far. We can still rotate. That's fine because it's still within the distance. I have no stress. But if you notice now, it doesn't like skip to. Even though I'm holding forward, it doesn't like skip one. Oh, that's so much better. Oh, nice. Okay. Glad I fixed that. It's actually looking alright. Strides are actually looking alright. I'm surprised. They feel really fun to do too. Minus the bit where you float in midair for a bit. I hate that plyo. I don't know what plyo that is, but I just absolutely hate it. That is the next thing. So for me, I think then the current stage we're at, it's like the controls are taking a little bit of backseat in terms of just making the character play well and do the things we want it to do. And then once the character is doing the things we want it to do, then we can look at what the user needs to do to make it do the things we want it to do, if that makes sense. So basically, like, can I trigger all these things contextually, and then we tie in the input to make it like, okay, you have more control. How would it be done? I ain't got a clue. I'm joking. I'm not even sure, That is one to tackle. I think we have a 360. Oh, it did what I didn't want it to do. Honestly, yeah, because you know what happens? Like, this is from experience doing this now. For almost two years now. It's genuinely, you spend so much time bugging up controls, and then you just change how you do it. Like, the mechanic itself changes, and then the controls change with it. So until you get the mechanic doing what the mechanic needs to do, there's really no, like, you can have the controls in mind as you program it, but I just have it like off a button press now. And then as you make the mechanic, more times than not, the controls reveal themselves to you. Like, you just do it, and then in your head you'll be like, I should flick, or I should rotate the stick, that's just what's natural. Just by seeing it, seeing your character do it, and you trying to call it in the context of where we're calling it in. So with the tic tacs, it was like, oh yeah, there needs to be a flick on the stick. Because like as I was running up to the wall, my first instinct was to be like, okay, I want a tic tac. To actually do it as a button press, but my head was like, oh, rotate the stick. And I was like, oh, that means that to do like a 360 off a wall should be some kind of stick rotation, you know. So the controls often reveal themselves to you, but you just keep them in mind as you're making it. You keep discussing it, keep it in mind, and test it out with stuff. And then as the mechanic fleshes itself out, the controls will just start to reveal themselves to you. And it's what's intuitive more than anything. Hey, no, how are you? Hey, just came for a recommendation, and your streams were pretty interesting. Good to watch all welcome. Thank you, man. Well, guys, I don't know. I appreciate that. Yeah, most people do. I mean, they're regular. Who's on mod on this as well? Nova. He's doing his thesis, PhD thesis, and he just works, and then we just chat. Everyone's just working. Like I've got Lo-Fi Girl on, we're all just working. So yeah, man, I stream pretty much every day whilst I work on it. So if you're around, if you're working, just stick it on. Have a chat. If you want to take a break, shoot a message in. I'm very easily distracted, so. And don't look at all this ugly ass code. Ugh. It's terrible. It's terrible. Alright, we're in the right state. There's a couple things we need to fix, but I'm gonna check. What was I wanted to do? So the next logical progression is to Plyos. First of all, I need to find the plier that's really ugly. I think it's this one. Or it might be this one. Oh, that's terrible. What's going on with that? Oh, yeah, it's this one. Yeah, it's this one. Ugh. That plyo is horrible. I don't know if it travels 200. How far does this travel? I said it traveled 200, but I feel like I'm a liar. Six. Yeah, it's like 150. I was wondering. I was like, what the hell? 200? They're really ugly plier. And also the pliers need fixing, because look at the root motion. That's just terribly wrong. These need complete fixing. The root motion, like, look at it, it just goes up in the air and then comes down. So they need fixing. This plier is terrible. I don't think it's very good, this one. I'm not. This plier is really good. This needs fixing too. All these pliers need fixing, because look where the fruit motion is. Yeah, okay. I got fixed pliers. Alright, I want to check this stuff in. I'm going to do that tomorrow. I'm actually quite tired. I didn't sleep much last night, so I want to get a bit of an early night. And tomorrow I can crack on. So, let's check this in. Okay, and then tomorrow's plan of action. Tomorrow I'm gonna fix all the root motion on the pliers. I'm gonna make a note of this. I need to get back to using my bin and stop using it. So now that we're take off all this stuff. Let's go strides. Tick. Plyos. Tick. So we need to fix root motion. Plyos. So we need to fix the root motion of pliers. Reintegrate pliers. Controls. I'll just reintegrate pliers. Restructure and clean up code. That's just a bit. Move contextual traces to individual manager class. So basically, like, one class does all the stuff for all the contextual traces. So it's not like the climbing has all these traces, and then the jumps have all these traces, and then the locomotion have all these traces. We just have one class, and it's like player context manager and context manager. You just go context manager, get this function that gets this whatever, and then we have implement user controls for strides, pliers. Tomorrow I'm gonna do this one, this one, this one. These four. Mainly that, and these. Actually, no. Tomorrow main priority is top two, and then we get started these last three, and then sync with Dado to sync with Dado. Oh no, hold on. We're gonna add phase matching. Yeah, we'll add some phase matching. And what else do I need to do? Yeah, add phase matching to climb, strides, and pliers, and then last but not least, let's sync with Dado and everything. Sync. If I just take these off, should be in the right place. Also, discuss controls with Drew. Okay, that's a healthy to-do list. It's so weird because, like, you like initially to start, it was like it's so easy for when someone just tells you what to do and then you just do it, and then you just get another task and you do it. But like, it's only after like a while now that I'm able to like step back, assess what needs to be done, and then create tasks for myself. It's like quite healthy. So I think, like, to any of you guys, I don't know if you're trying to learn. Like, I'm still new to all this stuff, so one thing, like, I'd say, like, one of the best things I've learned these last few years is just being able to actually self-allocate tasks, like not have a like Dad I said my boss, but like not have to have someone tell you what to do to be doing stuff. Like, like being able to have a wide enough perspective of the general system and what you have to do in your own scope to be able to create your own tasks. Um, and whether that's directly relevant to exactly what you're working on or beyond it, it's quite a good skill to learn. And I didn't realize it was a skill, but it actually is. Because before I couldn't, I'd be like, okay, what do I do now? Dada, what do I do now? But now it's like I know exactly the next steps I need to take because I just look at it from a zoomed out perspective. But yeah, that was a random point. Yeah, I'm gonna go have a nice shower. Probably, quite frankly, work on this a little bit just off stream. Um, so I'm getting a bit bored of listening to lo-fi go. I want to listen to some Spotify, but YouTube don't like that, so I'll put on my own music and probably just I might fix the reverse on Plyos that I've thrown to bed. But we'll see. Um, yeah, I'll be streaming tomorrow anyway, so yeah, it's a pretty good stream. Quite a few of you guys in there. Yeah, I'll catch you guys tomorrow. I think the links for any of the stuff, if you want to become a backer so you can play this, will hopefully drop this in like a week or two. But if you want to become a backer so you can play any of the stuff, the link should just be below. Um, I believe, hopefully. If they're not, like, look at the previous stream, previous video, you'll see all the links, or just look at the about page, you'll see links for anything to become a backer or whatnot. Look at the Instagram or whatnot. Yeah. Cool, guys. Yeah, I'll catch you on a flippity flip.